On July 17, 2026, Jayden James Federline said something that instantly caught the internet's attention. For years, wild stories about Britney Spears had spread across social media. Some people claimed she had been replaced. Others even questioned whether she was still alive. Then Jayden stepped into the conversation. But did he confirm the rumors everyone was talking about, or did he expose something even bigger? During a live stream that was later shared across social media, Jayden described opening TikTok and seeing a video that had already collected an incredible 1.2 million likes. The caption asked a shocking question: is Britney Spears still alive? Instead of treating the post like a mystery worth solving, Jayden pointed to what he believed was the real issue. He said people understand how gullible audiences can be, and they deliberately take advantage of that. It was a simple statement. But the message behind it carried far more weight. So why did that one comment resonate with so many people? Think about that number for a moment. A post with 1.2 million likes doesn't just look popular. It looks believable. Many people naturally assume that if millions are engaging with something, there must be some truth behind it. That's exactly how online rumors gain momentum. They don't need strong evidence. They only need attention. And once attention starts building, the algorithm does the rest. But here's where it gets strange. What if popularity itself becomes the thing people mistake for proof? Jayden didn't deliver a polished statement prepared by publicists. He didn't launch into a complicated defense. Instead, he offered the simplest response possible. He told viewers they could visit Britney's own social media page and see that she was actively posting. His frustration wasn't directed at genuine questions. It was aimed at the system that rewards sensational claims over ordinary facts. In his view, people weren't investigating. They were allowing a viral headline to do the thinking for them. But why does that happen so often online? Celebrity conspiracy theories survive in the space between uncertainty and evidence. Every unusual photo, every awkward video and every period of silence becomes another puzzle piece for people determined to build a bigger story. Soon the speculation becomes entertainment. Then entertainment begins to feel like reality. Jayden wasn't speaking as an outsider watching it happen. He was speaking as Britney's son, watching millions of strangers turn his mother's life into a never-ending mystery. And that's when another question appears. If the evidence was always so thin, why were so many people convinced? The answer may have less to do with Britney herself and more to do with the way social media works. Dramatic claims spread faster than ordinary ones. Fear spreads faster than reassurance. Suspicion spreads faster than confirmation. A simple post showing Britney dancing is easy to scroll past. A post asking whether she's secretly missing demands attention. Even people who don't believe it often click, comment, or share it. Every interaction pushes the story further. Before long, the rumor feels impossible to ignore. But there was another piece of this story hiding in the background. Years before this livestream, Jayden had already spoken publicly about his relationship with his mother. Back in September 2022, during an ITV interview, he admitted that things between them had become distant. He didn't pretend everything was perfect. He openly acknowledged the strain. Yet he also said he believed the relationship could be repaired. He explained that it would take time and effort, but he never suggested it was beyond saving. That honesty became important years later. Why? Because someone willing to admit family problems has little reason to suddenly invent a perfect public image. When Jayden later defended Britney against online conspiracy theories, his words carried extra credibility because he had already shown he wasn't afraid to discuss difficult family issues. He wasn't pretending there had never been conflict. He simply drew a clear line between family struggles and internet fiction. According to reports of the live stream, he made it clear that the woman people were questioning was still his mother. His frustration wasn't with Britney. It was with people turning her into content. But if that seems obvious, why did the conspiracy continue growing? Researchers have spent years studying exactly this problem. One of the largest investigations into online rumors examined around 126,000 different rumor chains shared by roughly 3 million people over more than a decade. The results were remarkable. False stories consistently traveled farther, faster and deeper than truthful ones. They reached large audiences far more quickly than accurate information ever could. The study wasn't about Britney Spears, but it helps explain why stories like this explode online. Still, one mystery remained. Why are people so drawn to the false version? Part of the answer is novelty. Ordinary updates rarely surprise anyone. Extraordinary claims demand attention. Saying Britney uploaded another video isn't exciting. Asking whether she has secretly disappeared instantly creates suspense. People feel compelled to click. They want answers. They want to know what everyone else is talking about. Even users who completely reject the rumor may accidentally help spread it by reacting to it. The platform doesn't always distinguish between support and criticism. Engagement is engagement. And that's where everything starts to snowball. Imagine seeing the exact same video twice. One version says Britney shared a new clip today. The other claims the clip proves she's been replaced. Which one are you more likely to open? Most people would probably choose the second. Not because they believe it, but because curiosity is powerful. Social media platforms reward that curiosity. Every click becomes another signal telling the algorithm the content deserves a larger audience. And once enough people have seen it, something even stranger begins to happen. Psychologists call it the illusory truth effect. The idea is surprisingly simple. The more often people hear the same claim, the more familiar it becomes. And the more familiar something feels, the easier it becomes to accept. Repetition doesn't create evidence. It only creates comfort. A rumor repeated across dozens of videos can start to feel established, even if every video traces back to the exact same unsupported claim. But here's the unsettling part. This can happen even when people already know better. Research has shown that repeated statements can receive higher truth ratings simply because they are easier for the brain to process. Familiarity quietly disguises itself as credibility. That's why seeing the same Britney theory over and over again can make it seem like multiple sources are confirming it. In reality, the same allegation may simply be echoing across different accounts. Jayden's response cut straight through that illusion. Rather than debating every individual claim, he challenged the entire foundation of the rumor. Still, another question remained. Can people actually resist this kind of manipulation? There is encouraging evidence that they can. Later research found that simply reminding people to think about accuracy before sharing information significantly improved the quality of what they chose to spread. Many users aren't intentionally sharing false stories. They simply aren't focused on verifying them in the moment. Emotion takes over. Curiosity wins. A dramatic headline appears. The share button gets pressed before anyone asks for evidence. Jayden's frustration reflected exactly that problem. He was effectively telling viewers to stop trusting the headline and start checking the source. At the same time, it's important to separate what is documented from what remains reported. Jayden's 2022 ITV interview is a matter of public record. Reports from entertainment outlets describe the July 17, 2026 livestream and quote his comments about the TikTok and its massive engagement. However, without the complete original livestream and the original TikTok, every detail of that exchange cannot be independently verified. That distinction matters because honest fact-checking means applying the same standards to every claim, even those we want to believe. But does that change the overall message? Not really. The central point remains remarkably consistent. Nothing presented in the available evidence supports the idea that Britney Spears was replaced by a clone or had mysteriously vanished. According to the reported live stream, Jayden wasn't validating those theories. He was criticizing the people creating and profiting from them. His concern wasn't hidden conspiracies. It was manufactured confusion. In his view, creators understood exactly how to exploit attention. Start with an unusual clip. Add a frightening question. Let engagement create the illusion of proof. Then allow the audience itself to become the evidence. When every piece of this story is separated into what is documented, what is reported and what remains unsupported, a very different picture appears. Jayden once admitted that rebuilding his relationship with Britney would take time. Years later, he reportedly defended her against one of the internet's biggest conspiracy theories. The admission wasn't that the rumors were true. It was that people knowingly exploit public gullibility because outrage spreads faster than ordinary reality. In the end, perhaps the biggest mystery was never Britney herself. Perhaps it was why millions of people were willing to believe a sensational headline before checking the simplest facts. And maybe that's the question worth asking long after the viral posts disappear.